We write this
script
to describe our
performance
of contrary actions while inhaling a single breath.
We are for
Continuous
contradiction. We are neither
neither for
nor
against. Why?
how.
We do not explain
Explain because
because we eschew
common sense.
sense.
We
Write this manifesto
manifesto
simply because
it is
useless. But we choose this
this manifesto
to be
art.
It is
Art.
because we
So
it
is
art.
They're evil, and they know it. Ernst Petty contracted the Morticoccus virus. With his body wasting away, he was rejected from Project M due to his psych profile. So, Petty spent his family fortune procuring the project's IP instead. Despite his iron will to live, Ernst's mind rejected a synthetic body, suffering a nervous breakdown during sexual intercourse. To save his brain, Ernst was placed in a mobile life support tank. Sans limbs, phallus, and a face, he felt so isolated and alone. He would have cried had he any tear ducts. He wound up at Calder House, established by Niles Calder. The house was for those whose conditions were atypical of human experimentation or industrial accidents. Withdrawn, Calder encouraged Ernst to reach out to his fellow patients. He did so, making friends with Monsieur Maller, an ape mutated by an unknown scientist. Poor Maller escaped, calling for help. However, he was feared and attacked by humans. He hid in the Paris sewers for years before Calder found him. Since Brain also lacked human form, Malar felt comfortable near him. The duo became a trio with the arrival of Laura Demille. A French actress, Laura was welcomed by fellow expatriate Maller. She amused Ernst with her shape-shifting ability. Perhaps the saddest resident was Otto, a former East German miner. His pores bled poisonous, burning protoplasm. As such, Otto was unable to touch another living being. However, Brain's casing and Laura's physiology were immune to the protoplasm. Together, they practically ran the place. However, the house would prove not to be a home. Otto was Calder's bodyguard, Maller was a dancing mascot, and Laura was unaware her alternate personality was sexually involved with Calder. As for Ernst, he intervened on behalf of his friends. Calder cast them out. In the wind, the outcasts suffered the evil of the world. There was no point in surviving by being good. Ernst decided that if evil is what it took to survive, then evil is what they shall commit. Ah, this seems like a good read. Conscience of a Normal Person by Chuck Klein. Copyright, Decency League Press. Crystal Falls, Wisconsin. Chapter 1. Freedom is impossible unless the civilized people internalize normalcy. After all, civilization is the dominance of normality over abnormality. Civilization is not a debate about what is and is not normal. Remember, this is why those who hate bow ties hate civilization. There is no need to reason what you know when you see it. There is no need to make up words for abnormal things because abnormal things are not natural. Normalcy is natural. Our feelings about abnormal things are not actual feelings, only mental illness, a manifestation of abnormality. This is why we must know the inner minds of our elected officials. Are they pro-normal or anti-normal? Currently, normalcy is under attack. The Apocalypse War created the society-wide mental illness known as anomie, otherwise known as normlessness. We must venture toward a return to normalcy. Normalcy comes naturally. Normalcy is the hard work that comes naturally. Abnormality is a hipster hobby. Normal people smoke a pipe. The Centaurians of Earth 2 are different from their Earth 0 counterparts. Here, they are a pre-industrial society. Nevertheless, they are aware of alien life. Centaurians are sometimes members of the Nova Corps. Overall, though, they have no desire to join the interstellar community. Yet. Centauri 4 is known for its plentiful deposits of yucca, a creation metal, and the Reach wants its hands all over it. Already, the Reach is exacerbating the culture war between the religious Habaktu adherents and the irreligious Akuan individuals. Will the Centaurians unite, or will it be divided they fall? You are alone. You notice a curious card. You read the directions printed on the back. You are then led to a book of forbidden lore. You open the book as a door opens in synchronicity. You step into an unseen order of the universe. It is a science as incomprehensible as the unseen colors of the invisible spectrum. You commune with an intelligence as incomprehensible to God as God is incomprehensible to you. I know. The term God is a tad antiquated. The centum, fittingly, is comprised of 100 centivars. Think of them as science priests. More accurately, think of them as 100 adorable little pieces of silver. As a centivar, your stagnation ends. Your evolution begins. And why not? Is evolution not the natural order of things? On a Colorado peak is an observatory no one has utilized in decades. The sole machine left functioning is an Eternium clock. The observatory was once the headquarters of the challengers of the unknown. And how was the view from up there? What is it like staring into the unknown? Whatever the answer, those who can say vanished long ago. Their whereabouts remain unknown. Like sands through an hourglass, so is borrowed time. 1957. 5 unemployed college pals met to trade war stories. Kyle, Matt, Les, June, Walter, and Corinna spoke of times past and futures uncertain. They wanted adventure. They had adventure. They wanted more. Alas, civilian life required each day to be like the last. While raising a toast to the best years of their lives, the sextet overheard urban legends of monsters roaming night-soaked alleys. Indulging childish whims, the friends discovered otherworldly creatures wandering from a nondescript house. The homeowner had invented an infinity machine that generated a nexus point through which paranatural creatures wandered. Noticing some creatures were suffering in Earth's atmosphere while figuring others might carry invasive pathogens, the team shut down the machine. The scientist fled. The friends had not felt such an adrenaline rush since wartime. Unemployed, the sextet became paranormal investigators, the challengers of the unknown. Their first job employed them as chrononauts for Professor Darius Tycho. He had reassembled a Brokaw, invented by an unknown Nazi chronographer. Before mankind set foot on the moon, cameras captured time traveling. However, Tycho lacked details of my domain. The challengers fatally crashed into the Speed Force wall. I knew their deaths would be unprecedented. I had to save them. My sister, Death herself, cautioned me. Immortal lifespans are one thing. Endless existence is quite another. So, I extracted and lent Eternium to the dying challengers. I allowed them to borrow time. Since they crashed into the time they launched, I could only return them an hour later. I gifted, or cursed, them with an Eternium clock. I worried if I lent them a fair amount. My sister reminded me that no matter how much Eternium I gave them a lifetime supply. A flowery world of gentle, fragile, sacred geometry. Changralin's beauty is appreciated intrinsically by its inhabitants. The Changralinians are hard in physique, but gentle in touch. Every child is taught always to be careful. The highest calling of a Changralinian is to cultivate and preserve, to sculpt oneself into nature's tool. Pacifistic, the Changralinians offered no resistance to their citadel overlords. When the citadel's Gordanian enforcers began reaping newborns for slave labor, the Changralinians did something unprecedented. They resisted. Young Sharisnar was one such resistant soul. To the citadel, he is brute, crusher, and grinder of all Gordanians. To the spaceways, he is one of the Omega men. Rock on! Checkmate is the United Nations intelligence firm. Referred to as the agency, Checkmate is designed as a chessboard. Pieces are deniable assets recruited from among the stateless, and it is the stateless that Checkmate hopes to put into check. White collects intel, Black executes missions, bishops coordinate rooks, the rooks plan missions and mobilize knights. The knights are field agents, and the pawns supply the knights. King Faraday is the White King. A former Central Bureau of Intelligence agent, Faraday has a talent for pattern recognition. Sacha Bordeaux is the Black Queen. Formerly of Shade, Bordeaux has a mind for game theory. Currently, Jessica Midnight is a rook in need of a knight none other than Mark Spector.